Okay guys, I got the power transformer removed from the set. It's not in too bad a shape really. Thought there was a little bit of rust on here, maybe so, around the bells there, but mainly just a bunch of dust, which I'll vacuum off with a HEPA filter and put on a dust mask as well, because my sinuses as of, as of late have been kind of challenged anyway. So again, it tests well. I did notice that a little bit of the insulation seemed to be, maybe I can pick this up on camera. I think it was here. Yeah, you can see some of the insulation's dry rotted. So we'll have to take a closer look at that and do inspections all the way back up to the grommets. And we can take care of that, I believe, with some heat shrink, but if we need to go inside the bell covers and redo something, we can take that approach also. So you can see there's a couple frayed wires which would create or compromise the probably the integrity of the power transformer down the road. Alright, so moving along to the speaker, there were just two screws here, and I just want to remove the speaker and get it out of the way. So there's just a small cover, and yeah, I was trying to figure out what was written here on the cover itself. Maybe that shows up here, but yellow, black, looks like brown and brown, but that's green and brown when you look at these slide-in connection points here back to the output transformer. So let me just get everything marked for future reference for myself here, and then we'll pull this out. I think up next, since I want to remove the speaker and kind of get it out of harm's way, that we'll go ahead and do some testing and document the output transformer and the field coil, make sure that seems to be functional and it's in good shape. Okay, taking a closer look at what I just did here, again you can see that the speaker itself around this terminal strip here is marked. So again, you've got yellow, black, green, and brown. So what I've done again is just take some of my marking tape and a tie wrap just to keep it on there. And again, I've got everything identified here back on the lead wires coming in. So there again, there's my yellow, my black, my green, and then brown is not marked. And I'll just remember that because it's the one not marked, and of course it's a brown wire as well. So I'm going to look at where these actually tie back to the radio itself also, and just make sure that they were connected correctly in the beginning. And then we'll look at the connection points here across this terminal strip and see how this ties back into the output transformer and the field coil of the radio, and go ahead and do some testing here and see what kind of condition that we find these two components in. Okay guys, after some investigation here, just tracing some wires offline because this video would have been crazy long. The yellow wire here, this connection point, ties back to the field coil, and that also connects back with C9 and C13. I'll show this on the schematic as well in a picture-in-picture. And then the black wire actually goes back to the other side of the field coil, and or it should. We'll do some resistance checks here just to make certain. And this also attaches itself to the candome resistor, and then it runs back through another resistor, R4, and then the connection then moves along to the grid 1 or pin 5 of the 6F6 tube. The green connection point here goes to the plate of the 6F6, which is pin 3, and this also attaches itself, or should be, the primary side of the output transformer here. And then the brown wire itself will be the other side of the primary to the output transformer, if I've got my hand notes here correct. And that attaches itself to grid 2 or pin 4 of the CF6. So let's do some DC resistant checks here and see what we get. Okay, I've got the meter hooked up here, and again my connection points. We'll look at the field coil first again, which is between the yellow and black. Again, that's the speaker field coil. And looking at the schematic for the radio, it looks like it should read about 1,000 ohms. You can see that's marked on here as well. It's upside down, I think probably on the camera, but that's what you would expect to see, and we're reading 892, so no big deal there. That's very, very close, and just a little bit over 10% from the number here shown on the schematic as well on the speaker here. So let's move over now and check the primary side of the output transformer and see what we read there. Okay, again for reference here, my connection points to the primary of the output transformer, green and brown, and there's no documented, or I don't believe there's any documented DC resistance readings there on the schematic, but we're reading just under 500 ohms, and I would think that to be in line. So again, you've got the secondary output, and then of course it looks like there's a humbucking coil as well on this radio, if I'm looking at the schematic correctly. So what I typically do next, I'll go ahead and I'm going to hook up an audio source, and we'll see what we get through the speaker. Again, I'll attach my audio generator here to the primary points here, which will be the green and brown connection points here, and we'll see if we can drive anything through the transformer back through the output secondary, as well as the humbucking coil and the voice coil itself. So let me get that signal source hooked up here, and we'll see what we get. Okay, again, what I'm going to do is tie my audio generator right in here to the green and brown connection points again, which is the primary to the output transformer. So I've got a 600 hertz signal right now. I think it's yep, 600 hertz. So let's hook it up and see what we get. Hopefully we'll be able to hear the tone. Alright, let me crank up the amplitude here now of the signal generator. Okay, there we go. That's it's always nice, kind of music to the ears. I'll bring it up here closer where we can hear it. Again, that's about a 600 hertz tone, 400 hertz, 200, 100, 700, 800, 900, and 1000. So I think we're in good shape here on the speaker. I've never had one that I've checked in this method and procedure that did not work at the end of the day. Now again, that doesn't mean that we have, we won't have rubbing of the voice coil or other distortions, around the speaker due to the comb being warped or crud down around the center pole piece, but we'll address that issue later on. So glad to get this documented here, and it's great to see that the the field coil itself is good, and the output transformer appears to be great, and the speaker is good as well. Alright guys, thanks for watching. We'll move on now and do some additional testing. I'll pick another component, and we'll keep moving this thing forward.